Hey everyone, well, I'm here with my good friend Chuck Harris to talk about what I feel is one of the most important things for a worship team and for your church. Um, I've always said the most important person on my team is the sound engineer because I can say this from experience, a bad sound engineer can sabotage all of the work your worship team has done. And I've been on a stage with a sound engineer messing with my voice and changing the EQ and adding kind of weird effects and echoes to my voice. And it's really distracting to me on the stage when I'm trying to sing and I hear this weirdness going on and I want to run back there and say, don't touch a thing. And pastors, you know what I'm talking about as well, because you can be preaching, and if the sound engineer is constantly giving you feedback or messing with the EQ on your voice, it really is disruptive and it can mess with your train of thought. And I think really affect how the people receive the Word of God. So the importance of a sound engineer goes way beyond the worship team. I think it's the most important position you can get in your church. Because pastors, if you're preaching the word and the people can't hear it, that's a problem. Also, today we're building some sophisticated large churches, and they're beautiful, and the seats are comfortable, and the facility looks great, but they ran out of money, and they just skimped on the PA system, so you got a beautiful facility and a PA system that's capable of serving a church of about 200 or 300 people, and you built a church for 10,000. Big problem. So this is an issue that is very, very important to me. I've said all along, if I can only afford to take one other person on the road with me, I'll take my sound engineer because my life is in his hands. Your life is in your sound engineer's hands, and you better pray that God sends you the right person to help out in that position. Don't just pick anybody who wants to spin some knobs and feel a sense of control back there. Really pray that God sends you that person. I'm telling you, he is the most important person of your team. Having said that, I'm here today with Chuck Harris, and Chuck has been around the world with me. Almost 20 years we've traveled together. You have been in every situation imaginable, and somehow you've survived. Chuck is a real good feedback to me. That's the wrong word to use, feedback. That's a bad
I'm good
word.
at that.
But Chuck is a good sounding board to me because I'm on the stage, but I always ask Chuck, how was it from your perspective? And he's out in the audience, again, where the people are, and he sees it from a different perspective all the time. All through the Gospels, in Matthew 11:15, Jesus said, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Matthew 13:9, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. You can go through all the Gospels, and Jesus said that all the time because it's important that you hear the message. Hear it here so that you can hear it here. But it has to start in your ears. You got to hear the message. And boy, I can't stress enough the importance of finding the right sound engineer. Romans, 10:17?
Mm-hmm.
Romans 10:17 says, so then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Faith comes by hearing. So this is a pretty important subject, and a lot of times we just kind of scoot over the top of it because maybe we're intimidated by all the bells and whistles. But I'm going to ask Chuck today to talk about the practical role of a sound engineer. Talking about servanthood. We've talked a lot about this in our general session with all the musicians. It's all about serving, but also kind of get into the nuts and bolts